Hey everybody, it's me, Remy, the Comic Burrito, and I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. It's Tuesday, and it's actually Tuesday that I fell asleep Monday night trying to record this. We're going to check out what books that I'm picking up on this week's new comic book day, Wednesday, June 8th. So to find out what I think you should read along with me, you'll have to check it out after this.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alright, we got a smaller week compared to most for me in terms of new books, but before we talk about them, I got a couple of quick housekeeping things. Number one, this Sunday, I will turn off entries to my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, so click this link up here at the top. Just go comment on that video and boom, you're in with a chance to win a slab, some art prints, some giveaways that some friends have added, any of that kind of good stuff. Number two, I'll be live on Whatnot again this Thursday night at 8:30 Central. By the end of the day tomorrow, you should be able to see the different things that I've got up in my auction queue. And I thought there was a third thing, but I can't think of it. So here we go. First book up this week, we've got the second of the final 4 issues of Baby Teeth. I am still playing catch up on this series, but I'm excited to read it. Also from Aftershock, we've got Bunny Mask number 1 that I want to read. Someone who's crazy, slashery, all those good kinds of things. I know there's a good deal of hype surrounding this book. There are some sick variants that I've seen different shops and groups put together for this book, so I'm pretty excited. Children of the Atom, still behind on this. I'll get there, and I have to figure out what the Hellfire Gala is. From DC is DC Pride. Happy Pride Month to all of my LGBT folks across the sex, gender, identity spectrum. I'm excited, and I know that I'm gonna love this idea of be gay, do crimes. Next up is Die 17. I'm excited for this, that I think this is the next to last issue, question mark. But I'm intrigued in how they're slowly starting to wrap things up to see who survives, if anybody. Do they make it out of the game and get to go back to their normal lives? Next from Boom Studios is Eve number 2. I have a small preview of this up on comicbookposer.com, and I'll put the link to this specific review down in the description below, but I really like the idea of what's going on in terms of what role Eve may play in saving the planet. I think the art in this book is beautiful. I think the variant covers, let alone the A cover, is quite interesting in terms of telling the story, in terms of the robot bear thing and the young woman who comes out of the pod. Excalibur 21 from Marvel, behind. I'll get there. From Behemoth is Freak Snow number 1. I also have a preview of this on comicbookposer.com. This is a very interesting horror post-apocalyptic tale. Like, the more and more I think about this, it would be, if Hunter S. Thompson wrote and drew a comic book, I think it would be Freak Snow number 1. And you can see, right, it's in the spirit of Mad Max, Fallout, Borderlands, and Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, I definitely think Hunter S. Thompson plus his own art gets us this story. Next up from Image is Geiger number 3. I want to learn more about the glowing man, the monster, as he is seen as kind of this ever-present threat to the folks around him, that we know he's not a man of myth. From Image is The Good Asian number 2. I really liked this first idea where, you see some exploration of an Asian detective who may have to betray elements of his community. And I think this does a good job of kind of looking at the idea of loyalty or fidelity to a system versus one's race or ethnicity, that I think this creates kind of an interesting dialogue in the same way that, looking at Uncle Tom's Cabin played with the same kind of notion of black individuals betraying slaves in the days of slavery and emancipation and that kind of stuff. So it's interesting, let alone we've got, a massive horror or murder mystery going on. Next up from Marvel is Iron Man number 9. I'm excited to finally get the origin story of Korvac, who's, that's the villain that we've been facing in this. That we'll see if this excites me enough to keep pulling this book. That, like I mentioned when the annual came out, this didn't hook me as much as Cantwell's Doctor Doom run did. From DC, we've got the Joker number 4. I think everybody's loving this. I want to see what's happening, down in South America as, the Joker is being sought out. Is he living a lavish playboy drug lord, lifestyle? Is Jim Gordon going to be able to bring him down and be able to, earn that bounty and that limitless credit card that he has? From Image is Carmen number 4. I really have enjoyed this series. I think Guillem has both a compelling, narrative to go along with just the beautiful art in here in terms of looking at, our characters who are either ushering people through or coping with their own death. That, I want to see what happens with Carmen, especially, in this issue where we get to see more interactions with other folks like her. Next, from Aftershock is Maniac of New York number 5. I've liked this. A lot of people have kind of written it off as basically a new version of Friday the 13th, but I like the idea that there's just a great deal of indifference to, what this killer has been able to do. The ride on the death train has come to an end, so I want to see if they're able to take him down, or if Gina Green is yet another in the list of people who think that they can take down the killer, but ends up losing her career and identity as part of it. Next up from AWA is Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal number 2. I really enjoyed the first one. Y'all know how much I love Garth Ennis. I think the artistic team on this is interesting. I want to learn more about her and see if she can get away with her heists and see exactly what makes her tick. But I think issue 1 was a very interesting read, and I'm excited for number 2. Proctor Valley Road, I really enjoyed number 1 and 2. I've got number 3 to read, but I like this kind of horror story set in the 60s. Very, very interesting, and we can learn about another haunted spot along the Proctor Valley Road. Next up from Humanoids is Space Bastards number 6. We've talked about how much I love this book. It's constantly in my weekly top 5. I want to learn about, is this, how the events that after the explosive end of Shankstoberfest or whatever that was, kind of wrap up around the rest of our characters. But I love this book. It's the perfect palate cleanse to me, and I love rereading it because I can find all kinds of new ridiculousness throughout. Next is Transformers Back to the Future number 4. I'm an issue behind on this one, but I still love this crossover. Next from Black Mask Studios is White number 1. I think I talked about this a week or 2 ago in a pull list video, and I know that it got pushed back. But I really want to see what is happening in the sequel to Black. That I really enjoyed Black as a series. That the short mini-series of Black AF have also been interesting, so I want to see what they have now going on in the flip. And our last book is X-Men 21, which is the wrap of this series, and then in August we get a new X-Men number 1, so we'll see what happens with the Hellfire Gala. We'll see what happens, with the heroes of Krakoa. I'm still behind but I want to see what happens with the passing of the torch on this one. The last thing that we'll talk about are the Scout comic books that are coming out this week that I either have already gotten in this month's Scout box or will get at the end of the month. But we've got Joseph Schmalke's Cherry Blackbird #1. You've got a rock star who sold her soul for fame as she is about to enter the 27 Club and guarantee her ticket to hell. She has to go on a series of tasks. I will have a review of this on comicbookposer.com either by the end of the day today or tomorrow morning. Next up is Black Cotton #3. I got the preview of that, I think, on Friday and immediately posted something. You got to see the amazing picture of me in my ridiculous black cotton getup. But I love this story. It does a lot to kind of continue the drama of issue #2, give us some behind-the-scenes insight in what happened during the hospital visit and how the events of Black Cotton 1 and 2 have kind of created a conflict within the Cotton family. Next up is Stake #4. I'm 2 issues behind now on this one that I've read 1 and 2, but I've really enjoyed what is happening in this series that, you know, we get vampires, we get a goon squad, we get to see what happens. Next up, Midnight Sky #8. This returns after a couple month hiatus, I think. I think the first arc was 7 issues. I don't know. Midnight Sky is one of those series that I read in bulk and lost any sense of time. 2 books left. The first is Murder Hobo Big Floppy Edition #1. I forgot that this was coming out this week, and I am wearing my lovely Murder Hobo shirt. I love that this cover is a parody of the original World of Warcraft box art, but I just love how over the top this series is, how it successfully plays off of the riffs of many a role-playing game or tabletop role-playing game or, online fantasy game, that I like seeing these different things. And then the last book is from Black Caravan. It's Perhaps Second Chances #1. And I don't know anything about this book. I think I have a preview that I will check out, but everything that has come out through Black Caravan has been a very, very amazing horror tale for me. So what do you think? Is there anything that I'm not picking up that you think that I should? Is there anything that you've gotten a chance to read early that you think I should put, in a later stack or think about not picking up as always, let me know down in the comments below. And as always, y'all, thanks for stopping by, and have a good one.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4.